1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, welcome back to Country and Cold Cans. I'm Logan, sitting here with Trucker, Andy, and Kyle. Be sure to give us 5 stars and a great review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And you know what? We just got our Spotify wraps, but we also got the podcast wrap today. And we want to say a thank you for everyone that has hit the follow button on Spotify this year. It said that we jumped up 26% in Spotify followers this year. Mm-hmm. And they said that a large percentage of our regular listeners these days have started listening to us this year in the 2023 calendar year. So shout out you guys for that. We'd love to hear from you. Any questions, any comments, any things you want to say, or any music recommendations, hit us in the link in the description of this podcast. It says click here to leave us a voicemail. All right, guys, Spotify Wrapped. What do you think? Did you like yours? Did you not? You think it's kind of jacked up? I don't know.
I disagree with mine.
I think mine's better than usual, but I disagree.
Yeah. So I think my March was Morgan Wallen, which is, I believe, when his new record came out. But I find it hard to believe that he was my top album of the year when none of my top songs are Morgan Wallen songs. I just find I don't know how that computes.
I kind of think that him showing up as much as he did, and a lot of people's was kind of rigged based on how long the record was. So if you wanted to listen to it all the way through, that was a lot. But then,
that's a fair point, yeah.
if you put on, so I do this a lot. So some of mine gets thrown off by playlists that Spotify gives me, and then the popular songs from the really popular artists are always on the playlist near the top, so that things get played. But also, we listen to a lot of things for this show just for us to be able to talk about it. Yeah, and the week of, we listen to it a lot. I think that the records that have more songs because we did review that album, I think that probably skewed the numbers on.
Andy, I have a question. How in the world, as you as a truck driver, did I listen to 11,000 more minutes of music than you?
I think. Well, don't you have you and Bailey together though?
No. Last year we did the Spotify duos.
Oh, nice.
So she has an entirely separate thing. She has her own Wrapped. I did that because I got tired of her kicking me off to listen to big booty mixes. But yeah, I listened to 71,514 minutes of music.
That's wild because I listened to the least of the three of us, which kind of surprised me. And I was at 49,000. And then when I saw a lot of our friends put it on Instagram, they were all at like 20,000s.
Yeah, what am I doing?
I don't know what you're doing. Are you working?
Yes. I mean, like I said, yeah. I mean, and some of that might be just leaving it on all day while I'm at work. But you're a truck driver, Andy. I just couldn't believe I beat you.
I don't understand how either. That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, exactly. You're driving all the time. How in the world do I have 11,000 more minutes?
I wonder if it doesn't count podcasts.
Not for
no.
Well, no, it would.
I don't know. I have listened to an ass load of podcasts.
I think it would have to count podcasts.
Is it totalized? I don't know. It's a great question. Because, you have your page was like your favorite podcast. Mine was a sports talk radio podcast. But I still find that hard to believe, Andy.
I will say, Andy,
I do too.
Your top genre was Red Dirt.
That's believable. Actually, I don't know that that's even accurate considering L. Langley's from Texas, correct?
I think so, but I don't know. Actually, I don't know.
I'm fairly confident. I think Dylan Wheeler.
But she's not Texas. Red Dirt, though.
She's actually more.
Yeah, I'm just going to. I was going to give Spotify the pass on if they're from Oklahoma and in that category of artists, give them Red Dirt. But I think all these people are from Texas. Yeah. So I don't think it's accurate. Treaty Oaks, Texas band.
Me and Logan are CCM all the way.
Well, mine was actually a different CCM.
Oh, okay. I thought it was contemporary country.
Mine makes sense though, and I'll tell you why. My CCM means contemporary Christian music.
Oh, okay.
And the reason that makes sense for me is because when I get ready in the morning, I have a Brandon Heath made it into my top 5 artists. The others were country or country adjacent artists, but I have a Brandon Heath mix from Spotify that I listen to in the mornings getting ready for work, and I listen to on the way to work. And then on the way home, I listen to all the other stuff like Zach Bryan's and Muscadine Bloodlines and all that stuff. But But yeah, that's why that one I believe, just because every day I start off with a CCM playlist when I'm getting ready.
Okay. Never mind. I stand corrected. I thought that was just some kind of weird abbreviation that did in the link you sent. Yeah. Other than the Morgan Wallen one, he was my most listened to artist in March. Other than that, I don't really remember listening to much. Randall
Right.
King, yes. Listen to an assload of Randall King. I've been all over Randall King. Treaty Oak, yes. All over Treaty Oak. Hardy, yes. I concede Hardy. And then Stained, of course. Stained was my top played song of the year. That was the song they released on my birthday. The A-side, B-side single they did on their new album. And then we have Ode to Bourbon, which, as we talked about, Logan, there was a revival of Treaty Oak on the golf trip that we went to. So I listened to
every time we got in the truck,
yeah.
Kyle, people have heard us say it a bunch of times before, but every time we got in the truck, Kyle started with that song.
Yes, yeah, the revival.
Was the Fast Car, was that Luke Combs' cover, or was it?
Yes, it was. No,
for a guy that
I didn't like it. I hated it
first.
I hated it.
It made his top 5 songs.
It took a while. Number 3 was That's Why We Fight, Langley and Co Wetzel. Love that song. Fast Car at Luke Combs took a long time to grow on me, and I took many lessons. But once it grew on me, it was very good. Then we have A Match in the Water, and that's a metal song by nobody cares. But I find it hard to believe Hardy was my most played artist. I don't believe that.
You mean Wallen?
Yeah, Wallen. Excuse me. Yes.
Well, the thing that I find interesting, Kyle, that you said earlier before we started recording is how you listen to 71,000 minutes on Spotify. Like, you beat out Andy, and he's a truck driver.
I don't believe that either. Andy should have the most by a mile.
Do you play it at nighttime when you fall asleep?
Sometimes.
Yes. If you don't know the answer, you do.
No, not all the time. Most of the time I fall asleep watching TV. Cut grass, blah, blah. I think most of it probably comes from work, but I just Bluetooth on the speaker at work. And then a lot of times I think I just forget that it's hooked to it because I just turn my volume down. And I have fallen asleep a few times at work with my AirPods in. And that might be some of it, but that doesn't add up to 11,000 more minutes.
Right.
I don't know where it went.
I really only have a couple of gripes with mine, but it also makes me think that the whole thing might be rigged. I got Treaty Oaks number 1. That's a hands down. Ella Langley number 2, completely understandable. Morgan Wallen at 3 is the one I don't see. Because then it goes Dylan Wheeler. I believe that because I listened to his album from last year a lot this year. And then Hardy at number 5. And Zach Bryan's at number 6.
Or Walker Wheeler?
Dylan Wheeler. There's no way I listen to Morgan Wallen enough to be at number 3.
And go ahead.
Like, I've listened to Hardy way more. The only thing I can think is if Spotify is skewing their like if they're just taking Hardy's album, Mockingbird and the Crow, and because Wallen's featured on the album, that they're skewing it to include Wallen if you play the Mockingbird and the Crow, which makes no sense.
But it wouldn't make sense for the other tracks that he's not on. That would only make sense if you played Red a million times. But like, I do agree with.
The only way I could fathom it.
I do agree with you guys that I think something's up with this Morgan Wallen thing because he was listed as my number 1 artist, and I did not listen to him the most this year by any means. I listened to his record a lot when we were going to review it, and I listened to it a little bit after that. And there were so many songs, there were lots of streams, right, for one artist. Like, I realized that. But he was not my number 1 artist this year. Number 2 was Zach Bryan. He was my number 1 artist for this year. I listened to Zach Bryan more than I did anyone. Ernest, I really liked the record he put out. I listened to that a lot. Muscadine Bloodline, their new album was a banger. I listened to that a lot. And then, like I said, Brandon Heath, I have the Brandon Heath next that I listen in the morning. So that made sense. But Wallen being at the top, much less even in the top 5 for me, made no sense whatsoever.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's funny that it's all of us saying it about the same artist. It makes you wonder if they're like, if there's a grand conspiracy here.
I think it is. I mean, because even some of that album was last year.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Yeah. I can give you another example here. 'Cause it told me my number one song, That's Why We Fight by Lil Langley. It said I played it 248 times this year. One Time Thing is at number 3. Call me crazy, but there's been times I played One Time Thing 20 times in a row. I have played that song every day since the first time I heard it. There is no way I've played that under 250 times.
Yeah. Now, I mean, I'm with you on that. I have the same kind of gripes about my list too. I know I didn't listen to that new album by Wallen that much for it to be listed up there. Zach Bryan, 100% I listened to more than any other artist this year. I know that for a fact.
Yeah, Wallen was number 1 for March when his album came out. Randall King, Trio, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I went through, I remember that because they did that this year where they went through the months of who was your top played artist. The only month that Wallen was on there was March when the album came out because, again,
yeah, same here.
Like, we listened to it for the show. And I know that I've played him some at tailgates on a big playlist because, you know, generally we play more popular mainstream stuff at the tailgates because people don't really want to listen to our sad songs at a tailgate. But he was never my top artist any other month. So that's why I don't understand how he was at the top. Oh, well. It's not that big of a deal, but
no. The damn Swedes.
But it is curious because it happened all three of us.
Yeah, there's damn Swedes.
Yeah. I mean, look, if anybody else had something off like that about your rap that you just think is weird, hit us with a voicemail. We'd love to hear about it because we were all kind of like surprised by that a little bit today. But now switching gears here, Andy was talking about listening to One Time Thing a million times. There's been a record that we've all been listening to a bunch of times because it's probably been the most anticipated record on this podcast in quite a while. It's the new Treaty Oak Revival record, Have a Nice Day. Came out last week. Treaty Oak, you know, we're a little later to the game than the people that got in real early because No Vacancy came out in 2021. We didn't really listen to it until parts of 22 and 23, I believe, but it was an instant hit for us. Like we've been huge fans of this band ever since. We loved their sound, and then, you know, we were waiting to get new music from them on their new project. They announced it. It came out on Friday. We've all been talking about it in the group chat. And I think that, you know, my take on this record is pretty concise here. One, it seems like the sound of this record, they leaned a little bit more rock than they did on the last one. But the overall, you take like their Sam Canty's vocal, his songwriting style, and then the leaning a little bit more into that grunge influenced rock. And what do you get here? I saw a couple people say this on Twitter, and I 100% agree. You get unabashed Western grunge here, and I'm all about it. Like, it's just banger after banger after banger after banger. And but the songwriting didn't suffer. This is a concert ready, like a live show ready record, in my opinion. Not to mention that the album art, pretty sick.
Oh yeah, cigarettes, 8-ball, lighter, yes.
Andy, I think it was you that said that's very grunge influenced itself.
It looks like straight out of the 90s in Washington.
Yeah, I would agree. Andy,
I love how they released the album. We've only heard one song off the album, no singles, 10-song album. All they do 2 weeks before the album comes out, hey guys, album's done. We're going to put it out. That's just the way it should be done.
Thank you so much for saying that.
Agreed.
We agree.
I totally agree.
With
Andy.
banger Instagram preview clips, that's it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly. Andy, I believe when we covered the last album, you said this was your most hyped or anticipated band since Turnpike. Does it live up to it? Is it a yes?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. I am more pleased with this album than I was with when this was going on with Turnpike. It would have been the Pike Troubadours. I'm more satisfied with this. Turnpike Troubadours grew on me over time. It wasn't the album.
No, that wouldn't
give me a funny look.
This wouldn't have been the Turnpike Troubadours in the chronology. This would have been
it was the Silver album.
No. So not counting the one that's hard to get. Though I'm talking about just strictly the ones that are available on Spotify. Goodbye Lonely Street. Or Normal. Goodbye Normal Street. Fuck. I don't know why I can't think of the name of it right now. I'm screwing this up. Goodbye Normal Street.
I'm thinking about the Silver album. The Turnpike Troubadours, right?
I thought you were saying like being their second record. Maybe I'm misunderstanding you.
No. The for Turnpike, the release would have been the album Turnpike Troubadours. I'm more satisfied with this than I was.
I'm not following the connection. Is what I'm asking.
I think he's saying his second album he heard.
No, Andy.
No.
I didn't say second.
Oh.
Yeah, but like I'm not seeing the connection though. Is what I'm asking. Because if you were making a connection second album to second album, that's just a random record to compare it to.
Album I'm hyped about.
Oh, I get what you're saying. Like being a Turnpike fan and waiting for the next.
Once we got in, the next one was the Turnpike Troubadours album that came out.
Yeah.
That album grew on me over time a whole lot. I'm more satisfied in week one with Have a Nice Day than I was Turnpike Troubadours.
I love Treaty Oak. Do not agree with that, but that's personal taste. But I love this
first
Treaty
week
Oak record.
taste.
Yeah, but you know, I love this Treaty Oak record. I'm with you on that. I mean, what do you guys? You know, so I'll give my only, because I know you two are not going to agree with me here, but I'm going to give my only constructive criticism of it. But this by no means takes away from the album because I've been playing it on repeat. I do think that it could have probably benefited from one or two a little bit more like slower tempo songs that the rock guitars weren't quite in your face, because a lot of, and this isn't just Logan's not as big of this type of rock fan as we are. This is just in general, great rock albums historically have had, you know, at least a ballad, maybe two.
Yes.
And you can maybe make a case for Chasing My Tail, which is probably one of the best songs on the record, in my opinion. But I do think it's like, this is a concert ready record. Is like I was saying, it's go. It might have some that are a little more mid tempo, but the rock guitars are right there. They're up in the mix.
It's all gas, no brakes. No doubt about it.
I think that if you had brought them up and then brought them down for a moment and then brought them back up towards the back half of the record, I think the sequencing probably would have been a little bit better in my opinion. But I'm really splitting hairs and getting nitpicky by even saying this, because this was a fantastic album.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree. Most fantastic rock albums have a soft or acoustic ballad on it. I mean, even Coetzel has a slow song on there. Have y'all seen his Christmas album he's gonna do?
Dude, did y'all see the promo for that on YouTube? That was so funny.
Yeah. Shit is hilarious.
I forgot to send that to y'all today because I saw it earlier at lunch and I was like,
a day or two ago, yeah.
I'm glad that y'all saw that because I was dying laughing at lunch. I was like, that's
shit is phenomenal.
See, I don't like Christmas music, but the promo for it was something I found to be quite enjoyable.
Not to get too far off topic, but my favorite thing of that whole thing was all the people that were butthurt. It was like, GD, he makes a Christmas record, but still no country records. I was like, yeah, true shit, yeah. But yeah, funny as fuck.
But what are y'all's thoughts on like the sonic direction? Because like I said, it's not a big departure by any means from the last record, but it is a little bit more rock leaning than the last record was.
This is the shit that I grew up listening to.
Yeah, it fits their hype videos on Instagram too. Yeah. The atmosphere, I've never been to a show, but the atmosphere they portray on Instagram, it fits.
Yeah. Now, I'm not saying this to, I'm just playing devil's advocate a la Kyle here.
Yes, please do.
Because this is Kyle's forte, so I'm turning the tables on him.
It is, yes.
To my ear, I think this is sounds a little more grungy than the post-grunge rock era that you guys grew up on.
I don't know the post-grunge. I think it's in the grunge era.
But the music you grew up on, the bands you like, they're the post-grunge bands. Like I'm not saying this is grunge music. I'm saying it's more grunge influenced. I think it's more akin to that than it is the early 2000s bands that you guys like. I'm asking this to see y'all's opinion on it. I'm not saying that it is or it isn't.
Are you talking about post-grunge as in AKA anything after Nirvana?
Well, there's a stark
Are you talking about-
difference between like Soundgarden and Nirvana and
Yes, yeah, I agree with
Stained
that.
and into the Nickelbacks and Creeds. Like it's not like that they're too different, but they are different. They're not considered the same type of rock music. One was a precursor to the other.
Yeah. I would tend to, yeah, probably so. I was never really that big on Nirvana. I was more of a Foo Fighters guy myself, but even though I know it's, I think, one or two members of Nirvana. But I also came up on the new metal scene.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
chocolate starfish, don't flavored water.
I'd agree. It's more Soundgarden than anything, but Soundgarden was different than Nirvana and
Yeah.
like
Which is
Pearl
true.
Jam. They were, yeah.
You can actually
it's
hear the
not-
lyrics in this instead of Pearl Jam.
This definitely way more 2000s than Soundgarden.
Yes, yeah, I agree.
You
with
think
that
it's more
100%.
2000s than Soundgarden?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with Andy.
That's fair. I mean, look, I said these are just opinions. I disagree, but I was curious y'all's takes on it because I knew y'all were really into that 2000 stuff growing up, so that's why I wanted to know what y'all
Actually, I
thought.
think like Soundgarden was more like a lot of like, I guess it's tuned down guitars.
Yeah,
I'm
this
guessing.
just the feel of this record feels more grungy to me than it does 2000s rock. I guess is what I'm getting at. I
When
don't
you
know.
think grunge, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking like the movement out of Seattle in the early to mid 90s. It really started in the
Like-
late 80s. Like,
So-
if we go back and we can do this when we get done recording, but if we go back and listen to all those bands that came from that movement that are considered grunge bands, right? They all don't sound the same. That's my criticism of the 2000s rock movement is I think it all sounds the same. I think the production is all the same. And I think the voices tend to sound the same. Where I think their grunge bands had more variety. Like, Soundgarden didn't sound like Nirvana. Nirvana didn't sound like Pearl Jam. Pearl Jam was really more a grunge influenced band who played arena rock, if we're being honest. But
Pearl
they were a
Jam
little more
sucks.
mainstream sound.
Sorry, I said it. Pearl Jam
What?
sucks. Pearl Jam sucks.
If I'm not-
I don't know.
Stone Temple
Nickelback
Pilots
and
is
yeah,
grunge,
Stone-
right?
They're
out of that.
Yeah, probably.
They're
They were
mid-90s.
90s.
I
Yeah,
think-
they were mid
I think
90s.
they're mid 90s. I think they're the oddball of the big three, if I'm not mistaken. This does sound Stone Temple Pilots.
Yeah.
Not as much like Nirvana and Soundgarden, but yeah, Stone
Yeah.
Temple Pilots definitely.
I guess if we even put it in decades, I think to my ear, this sounds more 90s influence than it does 2000s influence, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can get behind that
it-
because it's not as produced as, say, a early or middle Creed and early Nickelback.
Yeah.
It's a fairly even mix of both. So I can easily see that going either way.
I also think the songwriting is infinitely better than anything Nickelback ever did.
Oh God,
And-
Nickelback gets so much hate. They have so many
No,
bangers.
look, I
But,
like Nickelback. I would go see them in concert, but I'm not
Yes.
going to say I'm a huge Nickelback guy. I think that it's more just
No.
like fun music, but their music's kind of dumb.
All right,
They
here's
have some good ones. Their
Yeah, all
album
right, here-
cuts are pretty good, but yeah, they got some dumb ones. I'll give you
yeah,
that.
yeah, they have some terrible ones. Look,
You got to dig to find the good ones.
Yeah.
all right, I have an interesting question to propose to you. Nickelback has a very different sound on most of their albums. They get really heavy, almost metal guitar
Yeah.
on some of their songs. This song has nowhere near that. Almost all the guitar is almost very similar. Do you prefer that or even Creed? Creed has some almost very heavy guitar. Where you said your criticism with this was there's no soft ballad. Would you prefer this or more of a 2000s
No, I
rock?
prefer this, but you got to
Okay.
think about the context of what I was saying.
Yeah,
there.
I understand
I
what
was
you're
saying
saying. I was
in
just
terms
saying,
of sequencing of the record. I think
Yeah,
a
yeah.
ballad somewhere in the middle or right before you get to the last three songs would have helped into because
yeah, I know what you're saying.
Bringing
I know
circle
what
back to my Spotify
Nickelback
rap
has
though,
that.
my
Yes, they do.
but my Spotify wrapped. Well, yeah, good for Nickelback, Andy. But my Spotify rap said that like
That was to your point.
I'm a hypnotist when it comes to listening or hypnotic, whatever it said. It said that I listen to records first track to last track, and I go in order. So it's like it doesn't. People aren't going to really either agree with me on this as much in the modern day because people listen on shuffle and in playlists. You know what I mean? Whereas if this was a CD and we were listening, or even better, a vinyl, like you're going to listen to it in order. You have to on a vinyl.
Yes. I would agree with that. Yeah. But nobody listened to it. Like
no, people don't do that anymore, though.
No, they just add 3 or 4 of their favorites on the.
Yeah. But no, I was interested. I was curious y'all's thoughts on that because, like I said, I knew y'all were big on I know Andy likes a lot of the 90s stuff, and I know Kyle, you like a lot of the late 90s, early 2000s, mid 2000s stuff. So I was curious y'all's thoughts on that. Yeah. Now, in terms of the songwriting on this, I love the ground that this record covers. There are songs about dealing with personal demons, songs about feeling like you're kind of stuck spinning your wheels, chasing your tail, if you will. And, songs that about just things not working out.
Songs about aliens.
Yeah.
Look, no joke. The first time I listened to this record, I was in an attic. So I wasn't looking at song titles.
Yeah.
And I played Close Encounters at least 3 times on repeat because
wait, you think
swear
that's
to God.
Aliens?
Yes.
I don't think it's about aliens.
Close Encounters?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. It's about aliens.
I took that song very differently than you did.
Interesting.
I think it's both, actually.
I took it as, seeing is believing. I could see Andy's point now, actually, talking about both being
all right. So the first time I listened to the album, I didn't have any song titles. I was just listening.
I took it as about religion.
Fair. Well, see, this is what changed the song title solely influenced my opinion because the first time I listened to it, I was like, hey, yeah, it's just a song about God. And then I was just listening to it in my headphones over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
I was in an attic. And when I finally put it on my Bluetooth speakers in my truck, I was like, Close Encounters. Oh, shit, this is about aliens. And the part that makes me really, it gives it away is when he's talking about they steal his lambs, they drove through his wheat field. I thought of, crop circles and shit. And then I think is it his dad in the song? It's just like, nope, shut up, don't say nothing. People are gonna think you're crazy as hell.
Okay, I see your point.
I think it's a story about aliens, but the underlying meaning of the story is Logan's point.
Would be true.
There's an underlying meaning to the story of the aliens.
Interesting. Yeah, I just took it like what his dad was saying was seeing is believing. It's like, nope, shut up, don't say nothing. People are gonna think you're a kook. Is that a bad word now? I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't know
either. Yeah, they're gonna think you're a crazy person. Nope, just keep it to yourself. You saw what you saw.
Huh. I can see both of your points on that. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to that, listening for that, because my initial take on it was very different.
The main reason
I've had both takes.
The main reason I was listening to this song so many times is because it is after the best song on the album.
Yeah, Fishnets.
Yeah, God, it's so fucking fantastic.
That song in particular, I think, was the best example of songwriting on the record because just it being a story song about a hooker, and it kind of has two semblances of a story, but the main protagonist is the hooker, right? She hangs out on the corner. And then there's the guy that's cheating with her while he takes off his ring. She takes off her shirt, and he's got a wife at home putting the kids away. And then they do that dirty thing. But then the worst part about her job isn't having to make a quick buck by
she wants to be his wife.
Well, it's like she wants to be a wife is the way I
see it. Yeah. She wants what his wife has. Excuse me.
Yeah, she doesn't want to have to be wearing the fishnets on the street and prostituting herself out. She wants to go back to the time where maybe her life got derailed and she started exchanging sexual favors for money. And her life, she didn't have the picket fence and the kids running in the yard kind of thing. Like I thought this was it was very well written song.
Oh, it hooked me from the first time.
Yeah.
To me, that whole song is a setup for one line that just sets the song off. It's she's breaking up. I can't remember exactly how it goes. She's breaking apart a home that she always wanted.
Yeah,
she's tearing apart the home with this
for
guy.
an hour in the sheets.
But what he has is what she wants. But she's contributing to home wrecking that marriage. I just love that line, the way it's put in there.
She wants what his wife has, but she's contributing to the home wrecking, and yeah. But and the worst part about it is that she feels worse about doing that than she does degrading herself by being a hooker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
and being a hooker gets her further away from what she wants, which is what he has, or what his wife has.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even think it's his wife in the singular sense. It's just she wants the theory of what they have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She wants
I don't
to
think it's him and
have a husband and a family is what it comes down
it's
to.
not
But instead,
him
she's
in
wearing
particular,
fishnets and being a prostitute.
Yeah. Fantastic song though, man.
Great song. Yeah.
I mean, it'll get it. So, like I've always said, great writing. This is not just songwriting, but like if you can take a controversial issue and write it fantastically, where even something I may even disagree with, you make me contemplate. I'm not saying I disagree with the song, but if you
I was
can
very
write
pro hooker.
Yeah, I mean, it's the oldest profession in the world, but but if you can write a story or a song that even is a core belief of mine and make me think about it, that's hard to beat. It's like, wow, all right, well, you've made me, think about it. I think that is the greatest example of like writing you can have. It's lazy to just be like, no, I'm right, you're wrong. You can subtly change somebody's mind, not just mine, but anybody's mind with a clever story. That's fantastic.
No, yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Another song that I really, really liked was that grew on me late. It was one that I kind of liked at first, but it grew on me late was "Have a Nice Day," the title track. I think the chorus is going to be a great sing along chorus in concert, and then the slight change in the melody, where it says, "There's no point in getting angry, so I'll fake a smile and wave. I hope that's a swinging door hits you on the way. Thanks for your time, girl. Have a nice day." The melody's a little bit different in the first part of the chorus leading up to that, and that just tickled my ear the right way, for lack of a better phrase, when that part happened. But seeing a girl across the room you used to be involved with, and then kind of taking the high road, even though you sometimes don't want to.
That bass intro tickled my ears. Andy, you got any thoughts?
The line about the swinging door hitting you on the way out, I like that. I like how it generally is, don't let the door hit you. And he's like, nah, let it hit you.
Andy, you're so vindictive.
I like the pettiness of it.
Yeah, so vindictive, bro.
Andy, I know that you said you were a big fan of Wrong Place, Wrong Time.
That's fantastic.
Another great melody.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of great melodies. To me, that song is it's more of the, oh crap, it's a word I use all the time that I can't think of. What kind of person are you when you're doing debauchery?
Right.
Degenerate. I knew it started with a D. To me, that song is that song is kind of more of a degenerate version of Chasing My Tail. And I appreciate it.
No, yeah. So I'm glad you brought that up, because that was something I was going to talk about too. Because I think that they're similar songs, but different at the same time. Because with Wrong Place, Wrong Time, you're kind of in the throes of your demons, of the things that you can't live like this long. Like the chorus says, I can't win for losing playing this game. Can't run from my past or my last name, which is a fantastic line. Loves that line. Mm-hmm. Love that line, because you can't run from yourself. Can't run from who you are, your last name. But at the same time, you keep finding trouble. You keep repeating the same mistakes over and over. You're kind of within that battle with whatever problem or addiction you have. And I think that encapsulates this song very well. Love that. Whereas Chasing My Tail, it's not so much about the addictions or demons you have. It's more like you feel like that. It's more the after result, right? Of you lived your life a certain way for a while. And then when you're starting to try to get things, you're trying to pick yourself up, just get knocked back down, right? And then you feel like you're spinning your wheels. You feel like your life is going nowhere.
Actually, now that I've just thought of it, it's a good analogy. It's pretty similar to One Time Thing. Wrong place, wrong time is when you're doing all these things, but you're still having fun with it. You're enjoying doing it. But then when you move to Chasing My Tail, you're doing the same things, but you're no longer having fun with it. You know, it's the one night stand thing keeps recurring. And you're like, I don't want to be a one night stand. And then the cycle repeats itself. And whereas in like Wrong Place, Wrong Time, it's still fun. You're at the first half of One Time Thing. Chasing My Tail is you're in the second verse of One Time Thing.
Yeah, like to your point,
not fun
there,
anymore.
To your point, they're using the one night stand analogy. It's like that episode of New Girl when Nick is sitting there and they're asking him about all these girls that he's been sleeping with, and they're like, "What? Do you feel good about yourself, Nick?" And he goes, "Not really, but then I start to feel really good." He's like, "But then after that, I start to feel really bad again."
What? Wrong place, wrong time. I think at some point in the song, he says, the only way he can keep himself straight is through the hard times. Reminds me of something of my late grandfather told me. If you're going to be stupid, you might as well be tough. Might as well do it the hard way. If you're going to be stupid. And, I think we've all lived by that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
we're going to do it the hard way. We're going to be stupid as hell.
I think both these songs can be very relatable on some level to most people. Maybe not everybody.
I think I'm more in the wrong place, wrong time phase of my life because
I
am chasing my tail. Yeah, I think I'm
more in the chasing my tail phase of my life.
Yeah. Well, you're a little more mature than me. I think I'm still in the wrong place, wrong time phase.
I think I might be with Kyle.
People, you get burnt and shit by people that, I don't really know how to say this. You do some dumb shit with a bunch of people, and then they're just like, "Oh well, he was there, blah blah blah. He was with me. Okay, I was at the wrong place, wrong time." I think I'm still in that phase more so than the chasing my tail. I'm still a degenerate.
Yeah,
I'm glad you're ahead of us, Logan. Well, you are the most mature of us three.
Well, no, it's not the matter of being ahead of somebody being mature. It's just about how you feel about things. It's
that's fair. Yeah.
Chasing my tail is more like, you pick yourself up, you get knocked back down. And it just feels like no matter what you do, you're stuck.
You're running a giant
spinning
circle.
your wheels, or as the hook of the song,
because you're kicking yourself down.
But it's like you just, for whatever reason, even if you're doing it to yourself, you're chasing your own tail like a dog in the floor.
Yeah.
Like Andy said, the wrong place, wrong time. The stuff's kind of screwed up, but
you're chasing your tail and screaming.
You're still having a little fun doing it.
Yeah, exactly. The least probably sophisticated song of the album that I enjoy just because it's fun is "See You in Court."
Song is pretty funny.
It's just funny.
I didn't pick up on the line about the paternity test until this week or yesterday, rather.
Yeah, I mean, bitch, I see you in court. I can see that one being a loud one at a concert. Yeah.
Oh yeah, this one feels like it's got a hook, a Wetzel song. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it does. Exactly.
One of those like kind of angry, like "screw you, bitch" kind of songs that Wetzel does very well, and it's just awesome in concert. I think you're right. Like hearing that live would be awesome. Everybody's gonna be screaming, "Bitch, I'll see you in court."
Yeah. What did he say? Something like, "Come take all mine, call my lawyer, and I'll take half yours in due time." Some shit like that. Very, very vengeful.
Yeah. I know that Andy, you were talking about at the very beginning. I was curious if it ended up being one of your favorites. You heard like a clip of In Between, and you were like thinking that it was going to be, before you even heard the record, it was going to be one of your favorites. Did that pan out to end up being one of your favorites, or is it just one you just like?
Let's see. I'm gonna say that might be around number 4 or 5 on the album for me.
Same. That was the one on there.
I do definitely
story, right?
like it.
Yeah, I do too.
That was the one on their Instagram story, right, before they released them. Yeah. Okay. Yep.
That was the first one.
Yeah. I kind of like it because it's like, telling the girl, hey, why can't you do something good? Say something nice. Why you have to be such a bitch all the time?
More to the table.
Now, did y'all pick up on the fact that there's really only one love song on the record, and you have to really kind of listen to pick up that it's a love song? The album opener, "Stop and Stare."
That was my least favorite on the whole album.
That one's growing on me, but like it's really like the only love song here.
That song really grew on me. I was with Kyle at the beginning.
Like the line that really makes me laugh, and I think it's going to go over well because I feel like the Treaty Oak fans are similar in how the concert will be for a co-concert. The line that I think is going to go really over well is talking about the slut in the red and black tube top.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I like the term slut. That just gets me jacked.
You get your own jazzed up.
It's just something you don't hear in songs often, So it's like
that. No, yeah, it's true. Yeah,
there's a little bit of
the
shock
chorus
factor. Not that it's like a terrible word for people to say. Like it's not like a curse word, but it's like
it's a little edge to it.
There's a little bit of edge to it because it's not something you hear all the time.
The opening line to the chorus just sucks me in every time. I can't get enough of it. One, it's how good it sounds. It's probably my favorite sounding line on the whole album. But and my heartbeat sounding like rain on the rooftop. I've never heard that said before. I like the line itself.
Oh, yeah. I'm with you on that.
It's a very good way of saying you have a fast heartbeat. It's I love the way he says that and the way it sounds.
Yeah. It's like what kind of basically seeing the girl is kind of getting you, like you're really attracted to her, so your heart's skipping a beat, so to speak. Like rain on the rooftop. I love that picture that's painted there. I'm with you on that.
And the way he says rain just pulls you right in. And then he says slut right after it. And I'm hooked.
I mean, the funniest part of this song is she is just truly toxic, but she is gorgeous.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the takeaway I take away. He can't stand
Makes you stop
her.
and stare.
Yeah, I mean, what was it, jet black hair and green eyes?
Oh, yeah. But, again, the picture of what the girl looks like, I think was fantastic.
Yeah. And then he says something, God, what does he say about, God, what, oh my gosh, slipping on me now. The next verse after that, where he's talking about,
she was a wicked woman and she never gone to church and she had it out for me.
That's it, yeah. She is just a terrible person, but she is gorgeous. I want you to ruin my life. Yes, man, please ruin my life. That would be a good one to see a music video for.
I think so, too.
I think that and Fishnets would be a phenomenal music video.
Kyle likes to slut the red and black two-top and the hooker.
They make phenomenal. I mean, just the imagery of the two songs make great music videos.
He's like, I'd like to see the imagery he painted be actually a videographer capture it.
Yes, I would get Austin Mead and Geo to find the women because they have a fantastic.
Yeah, you're like, whoever produced Austin Mead's video of the bowling alley, yeah, we're gonna get that guy.
Yeah, that guy, and the guy that did Geo's school teacher. Yeah, let's hire him.
And I believe, I hope I'm not saying this wrong, but I believe that Taylor Kimball produced this record, who's is the co-producer, did a lot of Austin Mead stuff, did some stuff with Brian Chance that we had on a few weeks ago. But I believe, because this sounds like a Taylor Kimball produced album, because he does that kind of Texas like rock sound very, very well, which, as most people probably know it best from Co-Wetzel.
Yeah, absolutely banger, top to bottom.
The only song that we haven't really discussed, and I know it's not one of y'all's favorites, but it's really grown on me, is Haunted House. I think it was one of the singles we heard before the record released.
That came out
last year.
Actually, I want to say that came out before
Stay Tuned.
Stay Tuned, yeah. Came out before that, I believe.
I get why Stay Tuned isn't on this, but I love Stay Tuned.
I was surprised by that.
Yeah. But I did like Haunted House, though. I just basically, she's not physically there, but she's still there. And you can't get rid of her.
Have we talked about
I'm pretty sure. No. That was the other Instagram preview.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I can't remember if we talked about this one on the show on a song roundup one week or not. We might have.
Yeah.
We've covered a lot of songs over the last 6 months.
We have. Just been a massive load of songs. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. Well, on that note, let's switch over. We're going to draft the track list like we like to do sometimes when we review these records. Bring up everyone's favorite part here on the show.
All right, Logan gets first pick. Let's just skip it. Who's second, me or Andy? Who's second, me or Andy?
All right.
I think we should riot if Logan wins again, which he already does. We already know. I ain't know
see
you
the
get the wheel out.
Yeah, you're gonna win first place.
I put a million different options in there. So
you said that last time. You still won.
Oh, as you look there, Logan D-Berry has won again. What kind of bullshit is this?
I can't control that.
We
I even put my name in second instead of first this time, and it's still won.
Okay, yeah.
I get the first one.
We're not seeing the macros that you're writing in the background.
Yeah, because I'm definitely a coder. Right on the line.
Yeah, fuck you, Trucker Andy.
All
like
right.
I said, Andy, it was mainly who was going to get second, me or you.
Well, looks like I got first, Kyle second, Andy third. I'll kick it off with probably my favorite song on the record, which is "Chasing My Tail." Like I said, just this is one of the few like kind of more tamer moments production wise on the album, which as everybody knows that's been listening to us for a while, it's kind of right up my alley. Just it's a very self-deprecating, sad song that like Andy said, sometimes you're your own worst enemy, but you pick yourself up, get knocked back down, and you just feel like that you are going nowhere. Just that bleak outlook. I don't know why I'm attracted to that in a song. So "Chasing My Tail," my first pick.
Well, we are. No, I'm going with number one. It's Fishnets, best song on the record by a mile. The imagery, fantastic. I think it's the best written song on the record. I don't really have much more to say than that. It's just fantastic, top to bottom.
I agree with you on that. I think it's the best written song. 2. Trucker
Andrew.
Wait, did Kyle pick?
Yes, Fishnets.
Oh, he picked Fishnets. Okay, I missed it. I'm going to go with Close Encounters.
Oh, damn you.
I think if I am correct on what I think of the song, this may be one of the best written songs on there, if I am correct. It's a very complex song. It tells a story with an underlying meaning to it. If I'm correct, and it sounds great.
Y'all went much deeper on that song. I thought it was pretty cut and dry that it was aliens.
I thought it was pretty cut and dry. It was about religion, but I think Andy is
I think you're both right. I
think Andy is probably right on his take on it. I think the song sounds fantastic. I ain't gonna it's probably my least favorite song on the album.
Oh, wow, interesting. That'd be my number 2. Okay, interesting.
But all right, it's back to me. I think the song sounds fantastic though. Like I love the instrumental on that. So second, I'm gonna probably go with "Have a Nice Day." This one's been one that's kind of, I guess, is more recency bias for me. It's one that I've been kind of gravitating towards last couple of days. Like I said, the melody change, the slight melody change, and the chorus really kind of hooked me in on that. And then you're kind of like taking the high road a little bit, but at the same time, like you said, Andy, you're just gonna smile. There's no reason to get angry, but I still kind of hope that door hits you on the ass. Maybe you'll get knocked over and everybody will laugh at you. I kind of like that element of pettiness within the kind of taking the high road aspect of it. So "Have a Nice Day," second pick.
Interesting. I'm gonna go back to what I said. What I think the phase I'm living in my life is wrong place, wrong time. You're more in the chasing my tail. I'm in the wrong place, wrong time.
Well, I guess while Kyle's over there in the wrong place, wrong time, I'm just going to be chasing a slut in a red and black tube top.
I have found no lie yet.
I can't deny how much the chorus, the way this chorus sounds, it's my favorite sound on the album.
Yeah, I've gotten to where I really love "Stop and Stare." I guess it's back to me then. I'm gonna go with "In Between." I've really liked this song since I first heard a clip of it. I tried to listen to the YouTube video you guys sent. Couldn't really make out the words too much in that. Everybody was
It's a poor.
Yeah, it wasn't a.
Oh no, you can't hear the words.
Yeah, song sounded cool, but I couldn't make out the words.
Sounds like a banger.
Yeah, but once I heard it, I was like, oh yeah, this one's a banger. This one will be fun in concert. So I'm gonna take it as my third pick in between.
Upstairs. Yeah, there's this taken. When you pick have a nice, yeah, you just picked have a nice day. I'm gonna go. I'm the worst because when I first listened to it, after Logan, you made your initial criticism, I thought this might be the soft ballad. It's not.
It kind of starts off that way, and then
Yeah,
I love this song. I love.
Yeah, I do too. Really like it because it's like, oh, it's gonna tease Logan. And he's gonna get pissed off when the guitar comes in. I think I'm gonna go with I'm the worst.
And what's your song pick?
Oh yeah, sure, yeah. Hey, we're just describing me on this whole album.
Dad joke. All right, Andy, you're up next.
Oh, I don't quote me on what I'm gonna say about it, but I think I am correct. I'm gonna go with Haunted House. I believe he said that he wrote this song. This is not a personal experience. He challenged himself to write a song that he had no relation to. And I appreciate that. Not easy to do.
Yeah, definitely not. Well, that rounds out. I know that we got one left, but it's not enough to everybody to pick one more. So the one that was left out in the cold,
yeah, to come find us in court.
Yeah, which is probably going to be a really fun concert song.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's a banger. It's not too much to it, you know.
Yeah. So, all right, we'll go through our three that we picked. I had Chasing My Tail, Have a Nice Day, and In Between. Kyle, what three did you get?
I believe I had Fishnets, Wrong Place, Wrong Time, and I'm the Worst.
Andy?
I had Close Encounters, Stop and Stare, and Haunted Houses. Haunted House.
Solid picks all the way around. Now, before we close out the show, let's do our three favorite songs. Not draft style, just Andy, if you want to kick it off, what are your three favorite songs on the album? No particular order.
No particular order. Probably actually going to be Close Encounters, Stop and Stare, and Wrong Place, Wrong Time.
Yeah, mine are going to be Fishnets, Close Encounters, and probably Wrong Place, Wrong Time. So
mine's Chasing My Tail, Fishnets, and I would have to say after that, probably Wrong Place, Wrong Time.
So we're all pretty close.
Yeah.
On what we think the meat of the album is.
Oh,
it's not a bad one on it.
No, there's not a bad song on the record at all. I was very, very happy because, you know, we've all talked about the sophomore slump that a lot of artists.
I was kind of scared when they just teased it. I was like, oh no. But they did. Oh no, they delivered.
Oh, definitely. And Treaty Oak, man, I'm telling you, it's a band that we've been high on for a while, and I really, really want to see these guys in concert sometime.
Yeah, please come somewhere east of Atlanta, please.
Yeah, we'll come up somewhere a little bit northeast of Atlanta.
Yeah, please, I'm begging you. DC.
Yeah.
South Myrtle Beach, Columbia, Raleigh.
Make it convenient on us. Come to where we live.
Please, we're all poor. We'll be there.
All right, well, let us know what you think about the new Treaty Oak Revival record. Have a nice day. Let us know anything about the Spotify Wrapped, anything that kind of looks weird to y'all, or just if you want to talk about what your top songs or top artists were. Love to hear from you. There's a link in the description of the podcast. It says click here to leave us a voicemail. That's the place to do it. Check out the website, coldcansnetwork.com, for blog content. And if you want to check out some of our brand new hat line that we just released, coldcanshatco.com is now available and live. We have about 14 different hats to choose from. You can pick the color you want, different design you want, and then it will be shipped to you within about a week. It's coldcanshatco.com. For this episode of Country and Cold Cans, I am Logan, sitting here with Trucker Andy and Kyle. Be sure to give us 5 stars, a great review, and click subscribe on your way out. We'll see you next time.
Take care, guys.